Commodores 1970s, members then and now, 2025. What if one decision could change the destiny of an entire band? The Commodores weren't just another 1970s group. They were a brotherhood, a dream built by college friends with borrowed instruments and almost no money. Yet behind the platinum records and sold-out arenas were sacrificed, broken friendships, and choices that still spark debate today. Why did one member's path lead to global superstardom while the others struggled to keep the legacy alive? Tonight on Black Excellence Legends, we're uncovering the untold truth behind the music you thought you knew. Stay with us to the end, and when you're done, comment below: was the departure destiny or betrayal? Lionel Richie. Before he became one of the most recognizable voices in global pop music, Lionel Richie was simply a college student at Tuskegee University who almost chose stability over dreams. In the late 1960s, he planned to work at a factory job in Illinois, a path that promised security but little creative expression. Everything changed when he joined a small campus band that would soon be known as the Commodores. At first, Richie did not even see himself as a singer. He played saxophone and described his own talent modestly, but fellow members quickly realized his warm tone and songwriting instincts carried unusual emotional power. Throughout the 1970s, Richie helped shape the band's identity. Songs such as Easy and 3 Times a Lady showed a softer melodic approach that balanced the group's funk energy. The Commodores became one of Motown's biggest acts, touring widely and building an international audience. Yet a turning point arrived when the group paused recording. Encouraged to experiment with solo material, Richie released outside collaborations that unexpectedly expanded his reach far beyond the band. His work on Endless Love became a massive hit, and soon after his solo singles began dominating charts worldwide. By the early 1980s, he faced a difficult decision. Returning to the group meant limiting creative freedom, while continuing alone opened new possibilities. He later explained that he never planned a permanent departure, but success made going back increasingly unrealistic. His solo career produced global classics, including Hello and All Night Long, helping him sell tens of millions of records internationally. Beyond chart numbers, Richie's songwriting emphasized emotional clarity. His melodies were accessible to different cultures and generations, allowing listeners to connect regardless of background. Even decades later, audiences still respond to those songs because they communicate universal feelings rather than trends. Richie's journey offers a meaningful lesson about growth. Sometimes opportunity arrives quietly and forces a choice between comfort and uncertainty. He followed creativity rather than predictability, and although it strained relationships at times, it allowed his artistic voice to flourish. His story reminds us that success is not only about talent, but about courage, the willingness to pursue purpose even when the outcome is unknown. Thomas McClary. While many fans associate the Commodores primarily with its famous vocalist, the foundation of the group was equally shaped by guitarist and co-founder Thomas McClary. As a freshman at Tuskegee University in 1968, McClary had a simple goal: assemble a band for a campus talent show. That search led him to meet Lionel Richie, and the encounter ultimately helped create one of the defining soul groups of the 1970s. McClary's role extended far beyond guitar performance. He contributed musical direction arrangements and co-writing that helped organize the band's early sound. During the group's formative years, McClary handled much of the structural work behind the music. The Commodores were known for blending tight rhythm sections with melodic ballads, and that balance required coordination and discipline. Touring long distances in worn vans and performing small shows before gaining recognition demanded persistence. Their breakthrough came after opening concerts for a rapidly rising pop group, which brought them exposure to large audiences and led to a recording contract. McClary often reflected that the band's success was built not on sudden fame, but on relentless effort, rehearsals, and shared commitment. After Lionel Richie's departure, internal tensions grew, and McClary eventually left the group in the mid-1980s. He sought new creative direction and became interested in faith-based and gospel music, founding his own projects outside mainstream pop. Even after leaving, he continued collaborating on songwriting and remained connected to former bandmates professionally at times. In later interviews, he spoke openly about how jealousy and unresolved disagreements can damage long friendships. Yet he also expressed hope for reconciliation, emphasizing appreciation for Richie's abilities and the shared history they created. McClary's legacy lies in foundation rather than spotlight. He helped build the framework that allowed the band to succeed before fame arrived. His story carries a human message about teamwork. Not every influential figure stands at the microphone. Some create the structure that allows others to be heard. His experience reminds audiences that recognition may fade, but contribution endures, and collective achievement often begins with individuals willing to support a shared vision rather than personal attention. Walter Clyde Orange. If the Commodores had a heartbeat, it was Walter Clyde Orange. Serving as both drummer and vocalist, he combined rhythm and emotion in a way that helped define the band's distinctive sound. Raised in Florida and later attending Tuskegee University, Orange joined the group during its earliest formation. From the start, his energetic drumming gave the music momentum, while his expressive singing added character that balanced the smoother vocal style of other members. During the 1970s, the Commodores became known for blending funk grooves with melodic ballads, and Orange contributed significantly to both. His percussion-anchored live performances, allowing other musicians to experiment confidently. After Lionel Richie left to pursue a solo career, Orange stepped into a larger vocal role. This transition was not simple. Fans often associated the group with his former lead singer, yet Orange helped guide the band through a difficult period by maintaining performance quality and continuity. One of the defining moments of this later era arrived with the song Night Shift in 1985. The track honored two legendary R&B artists who had recently passed away and resonated deeply with listeners. It reached number 3 on the US charts and earned a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals. Orange's vocal presence became central to this success, demonstrating the group could still connect emotionally with audiences even after lineup changes. Decades later, Orange continued performing with the Commodores, introducing classic songs to new generations. His long-term dedication shows endurance rarely discussed in entertainment careers. Rather than chasing individual recognition, he focused on sustaining the band's legacy. His journey offers a human insight. Resilience often matters more than spotlight. While popularity can fluctuate, commitment keeps creative work alive. Walter Clyde Orange represents the artists who carry tradition forward, proving that perseverance and reliability can be just as powerful as sudden fame. Ronald LaPrade. Within the Commodore's powerful stage presence and layered harmonies, Ronald LaPrade provided the musical glue that held everything together. As the band's bassist, his work was rarely the most visible, yet it was often the most essential. The group's funk sound depended heavily on rhythm, and LaPrade's bass lines created the groove that allowed the horns, guitars, and vocals to shine without losing structure. Raised in New Zealand and later studying at Tuskegee University, he became part of the early lineup when college musicians merged their talents into a single performing unit. During the 1970s, the Commodores developed a reputation for energetic live shows. Much of that energy came from the interplay between drums and bass. LaPrade's style emphasized steady timing rather than flashy solos. Instead of drawing attention to himself, he reinforced the entire arrangement, giving the music a danceable foundation. Tracks that became radio favorites relied on this rhythmic consistency. Without a reliable bass framework, even the strongest melodies would have lacked impact. When Lionel Richie left the band in the early 1980s, many groups might have collapsed under the sudden loss of a recognizable voice. LaPrade remained part of the effort to continue forward. He helped stabilize performances and supported the band through a transitional period as they adapted to new singers and shifting public expectations. Eventually, he stepped away from touring life and settled in New Zealand, choosing a quieter lifestyle after years on the road. His career reflects a different kind of artistic success. Some musicians lead from the front, others sustain from behind. The bassist often occupies that second role, shaping the sound while allowing others to stand in the spotlight. LaPrade's contribution demonstrates that collective music depends on balance and trust among performers. There is a simple human value in his story. Recognition is not always proportional to importance. Many meaningful contributions happen without applause, yet they remain crucial. Ronald LaPrade reminds listeners that teamwork creates harmony not only in music, but in life, where steady support can be just as influential as visible leadership. Milan Williams. Among the original members of the Commodores, Milan Williams stood out as a creative architect behind the band's signature sound. As keyboardist, he helped shape arrangements that blended funk rhythms with soulful melodies. His playing added depth to recordings and live performances, giving the group both musical complexity and emotional texture. Born in Mississippi and raised with strong exposure to gospel and rhythm and blues traditions, he carried those influences into the group's early compositions. Williams contributed to some of the band's most recognizable material, helping define the polished, yet energetic character that distinguished them from many contemporaries. The keyboard parts supported the horns and vocals while also introducing melodic hooks that listeners could easily remember. His musical instincts often balanced intensity with smoothness, a combination that helped the group appeal to a wide audience across radio formats. However, his story extended beyond music. During the apartheid era, the band considered performing in South Africa, a decision that created internal disagreement. Williams opposed the idea on principle, refusing to participate in a system he believed supported racial segregation. The disagreement ultimately led him to step away from the group, marking the end of the original lineup that had achieved major success. His choice showed that personal values sometimes outweigh professional opportunity. He later experienced a frightening event while piloting a small aircraft in Arizona. Forced to make an emergency landing on a busy roadway, he survived without injury, though the plane was destroyed. Years afterward, life brought a far more difficult challenge. Diagnosed with leukemia, he fought the illness for 2 years before passing away in 2006 at the age of 58. Williams' legacy reaches beyond recordings. He demonstrated that artists can stand for principles even when it costs them. His life offers a meaningful lesson. Integrity is part of creativity. Music may entertain audiences, but character inspires respect. Through both his talent and convictions, Milan Williams left a lasting impression on those who followed the Commodores' journey. Andre Callahan. When people remember the Commodores', attention usually centers on the stars who appeared on album covers and concert stages. Yet the early history of the group also includes lesser-known contributors such as Andre Callahan, a musician connected to the formative period when the band was still developing its identity at Tuskegee University. Before fame, the Commodores were simply college students trying to perform at campus events, and Callahan was part of that transitional phase that helped bridge two student groups into one ensemble. The future band emerged from the merging of two smaller campus acts, the Mystics and the Jays. While members like Lionel Richie and Thomas McClary came from one side, musicians including Callahan helped supply personnel and musical depth from the other. At the time, no one involved imagined international tours or chart-topping singles. The goal was modest win talent shows, play dances, and earn small payments for performances. Even securing instruments was difficult, and equipment was often borrowed. In this environment, every participant mattered because a missing player could end a performance entirely. Callahan's presence represents a crucial but often overlooked stage of musical history, the experimental phase before a group discovers its defining sound. Bands rarely appear fully formed. They pass through rehearsals, lineup changes, and trial performances where styles are tested and roles adjusted. Early collaborators help shape confidence and chemistry, even if they are not present when success arrives. In the Commodores' case, those early campus shows helped the remaining members refine timing coordination and stage discipline that later impressed professional audiences. As the lineup stabilized and the group moved toward recording opportunities, some early contributors stepped away or pursued other directions, and Callahan's later public career remained limited compared to the better-known members. Still, his involvement highlights a broader truth about creative achievement. Recognition often belongs to those who stay until the breakthrough, but development depends on everyone who participates along the way. His story carries a simple human lesson: beginnings matter. Even brief contributions can influence lasting outcomes. Not every participant becomes famous, yet every effort shapes the foundation upon which success is built. Andre Callahan's role reminds us that behind celebrated milestones are many individuals whose early support helped make those moments possible. Benny Ashburn. Every successful band has a moment when opportunity finally meets preparation. For the Commodores, that turning point came through Benny Ashburn, a figure rarely remembered by casual listeners, but vital to the group's rise. In the early 1970s, the band was struggling, traveling long distances in a worn van, sleeping wherever they could, and barely earning enough money to continue performing. Their ambition exceeded their resources, and one failed trip could have ended their journey. After arriving in New York City with little money, the group faced disaster when their equipment was stolen. Without instruments, they had no way to perform or generate income. At this point, Ashburn encountered them at Small's Paradise, a well-known Harlem venue. Rather than dismissing a group of unknown college musicians, he recognized potential in their determination. He loaned them money and arranged an audition at risk because he had no guarantee they would succeed. The performance changed everything. Their energetic combination of dancing and live playing impressed audiences, and Ashburn agreed to manage them. His involvement gave the band structure and access to professional networks. Most importantly, he introduced them to industry connections that led to their association with Motown Records. From there, they were placed as an opening act on a major tour, which exposed them to large audiences and eventually secured their recording contract. Ashburn's contribution demonstrates how careers often depend on mentors who appear at critical moments. The band had talent before meeting him, but talent alone could not open doors. He provided trust when the group had nothing to offer except effort and belief. Without that assistance, their story might have ended before it began. His role carries a meaningful lesson. Opportunity is powerful, but compassion can be just as transformative. One person's willingness to help strangers can alter many lives. By giving a chance rather than a rejection, Ashburn helped launch music that later reached millions. Sometimes history changes not through grand plans, but through simple acts of support offered at exactly the right time. Suzanne de Passe. While performers stand on stage, the music industry depends heavily on individuals who recognize talent before the public does. Suzanne de Passe was one of those key figures. Working closely with Motown founder Berry Gordy, she became responsible for discovering and developing new artists during a period when the label was shaping popular music worldwide. De Passe already had experience nurturing performers, helping guide rising acts, and coordinating major projects. When she encountered the Commodores, they were still largely unknown beyond live performances. What impressed her was not only their musicianship, but their stage presence, the ability to entertain a crowd through movement, rhythm, and personality. She understood that audiences respond to energy as much as to sound, and she believed the group could connect with large venues. Recognizing their potential, she recommended them as an opening act for a hugely popular touring group. Night after night, they performed in front of packed theaters, gaining confidence and attracting fans. This exposure proved crucial. Record executives often rely on audience reaction, and consistent crowd enthusiasm signaled that the band was ready for recording opportunities. Eventually, Motown offered them a contract launching their professional recording career. De Passe's work did not end with signing artists. She helped guide presentation development and career direction, ensuring performers were prepared for national attention. Her influence extended to multiple successful acts, making her one of the most important creative executives in the company's history. Rather than writing songs herself, she helped shape the environment in which those songs could reach listeners. Her story illustrates a powerful human value. Recognition of potential can change lives. Many artists possess ability, but only a few meet someone willing to champion them early. By trusting her judgment and advocating for new talent, she opened doors that performers could not access alone. Suzanne de Passe reminds us that leadership sometimes means standing behind others and helping them succeed, proving that impact does not always require being the one in the spotlight. Berry Gordy. To understand the rise of the Commodores, it is impossible to ignore the influence of Berry Gordy, the visionary founder of Motown Records. Long before the band achieved chart success, Gordy had already transformed the music industry by creating a label that blended artistic development with business discipline. Inspired by the assembly line system he observed while working in a Detroit automobile factory, he built Motown, and around the idea that talent could be refined, trained, and presented professionally to a global audience. When the Commodores were recommended to him after proving themselves as a touring opening act, Gordy saw more than a college funk band. He recognized stage chemistry, consistency, and the potential to appeal to both R&B and pop listeners. Signing them to Motown gave the group access to professional recording studios, experienced producers, and promotional networks that independent musicians rarely possessed. Under this system, the band learned how to craft songs that balanced groove with melody, allowing their music to reach radio stations beyond regional markets. Motown's structure emphasized presentation as much as sound. Artists were coached in stage movement, timing, and audience connection. For the Commodores, this meant refining their energetic live performances into polished shows suitable for national television and international touring. Their instrumental track Machine Gun gained wide attention, and later ballads broadened their audience even further. Gordy's approach did not change their identity. It amplified it by providing the platform necessary for large-scale exposure. Beyond the business side, Gordy's work reshaped representation in popular music. He demonstrated that artists could cross cultural and demographic boundaries through carefully produced recordings. His label produced numerous stars, but his greatest impact was building a system that allowed musicians to sustain long careers rather than short-lived popularity. His story offers a broader lesson. Vision often lies not only in creating art, but in creating opportunities for art to flourish. Berry Gordy showed that leadership involves believing in potential before the world sees it. By investing in talent and discipline, he helped musicians transform ambition into lasting achievement. Skylar Jett. When Lionel Richie left the Commodores, the group faced a difficult challenge, continuing without the voice many fans associated with their identity. Into that uncertain moment stepped Skylar Jett, a vocalist who helped guide the band through a period of transition. Rather than replacing a legend, Jett approached the role as an opportunity to preserve the group's continuity while contributing his own style. Joining in the mid-1980s, he shared lead vocal responsibilities and supported the band's efforts to maintain relevance in a changing music landscape. The industry was shifting toward new sounds and production techniques, and audiences were adapting to different expectations. Jett's soulful delivery offered familiarity while still allowing experimentation. His performances helped the group continue touring and recording, proving the Commodores could function as a collective rather than depend on a single personality. This phase required resilience. Fans often compare new members to previous ones, and expectations can be difficult to satisfy. Jett focused on performance rather than comparison, emphasizing stage energy and musical connection with audiences. His presence allowed the band to rebuild confidence and maintain a working schedule during years when many groups would have dissolved entirely. Although later lineup changes occur, his time with the Commodores contributed to the group's ability to survive a major shift. The band explored evolving musical directions and adapted to broader pop influences, demonstrating flexibility rather than stagnation. Jett's role illustrates how transitional figures can stabilize an organization, even if they are not always the most publicly celebrated. His story carries a simple human value: stepping into a difficult position requires courage. Accepting a role filled with expectation can bring criticism, yet it also offers opportunity to serve something larger than individual recognition. By helping the band move forward, Skylar Jett showed that continuity often depends on those willing to support a shared legacy rather than seek personal spotlight. Sheldon Reynolds. Periods of transition can determine whether a band fades or adapts, and Sheldon Reynolds entered the Commodores during exactly such a moment. By the mid-1980s, the group was adjusting to lineup changes and shifting audience expectations. Reynolds, already an accomplished musician, brought versatility as a guitarist, vocalist, and songwriter. His arrival added new energy at a time when the band needed both musical direction and renewed confidence. Unlike the founding members who had grown together from college days, Reynolds joined as a professional, stepping into an established legacy. That position required sensitivity. He had to respect the group's history while still contributing his own creativity. His guitar playing strengthened live performances, adding a fuller sound, and his vocals helped balance the band's harmonies. During a period when many fans were uncertain about the group's future, his presence helped stabilize concerts and recording sessions. The Commodores were also adapting to changing musical trends. Production styles in the 1980s leaned towards smoother arrangements and broader pop appeal. Reynolds' musicianship fit this environment, supporting the band's evolving sound without abandoning its rhythm and blues roots. He participated in recordings and performances that kept the group active and visible, showing audiences the band could continue beyond its original configuration. After his time with the Commodores, Reynolds continued his musical career and later became associated with other prominent acts, further demonstrating his range as a performer. Years afterward, he remained involved in creative and charitable activities, using his platform to support community initiatives. His passing in 2020 marked the loss of a musician who had quietly contributed to the continuation of a famous group during a fragile period. Reynolds' story offers a meaningful perspective. Not every important figure is present at the beginning. Some arrive when endurance is needed most. Joining an established project requires humility and adaptability. His experience reminds us that preserving a legacy often depends on individuals willing to support continuity rather than seek recognition, proving that commitment during uncertain times can be as valuable as original creation. James Dean J.D. Nicholas. As music evolved in the 1980s, the Commodores sought a voice that could honor their past while guiding them toward a new direction. James Dean J.D. Nicholas became that bridge. Joining the band as a vocalist and guitarist, he shared lead singing duties and helped redefine their sound for a changing audience. His smooth tone complemented the group's established harmonies and provided continuity after earlier departures. Nicholas entered at a moment when many listeners questioned whether the band could maintain relevance. Rather than imitating previous styles, he contributed a fresh interpretation. His vocal presence became particularly significant during the recording of Night Shift, a heartfelt tribute to two late rhythm and blues icons. The song connected deeply with listeners, climbing to the top tier of the U.S. charts and earning a Grammy Award for Best R&B Performance by a duo or group with vocals. That success demonstrated the group's ability to move forward while honoring tradition. Beyond recordings, Nicholas played an important role in touring. Live performances require stamina, and his stage confidence helped maintain audience engagement. As musical tastes shifted toward new technologies and production methods, the band balanced nostalgia with adaptation. Nicholas's contributions supported this balance by blending classic vocal warmth with contemporary presentation. He continued performing with the group for many years, introducing their catalog to younger generations who had not experienced the band's early era. His involvement showed that membership in a long-running group is not limited to founders. Later artists can also shape its identity and longevity. The human value in his story lies in renewal. Creative organizations survive when they welcome new voices without abandoning their roots. Nicholas proved that respect for history does not prevent growth. By embracing responsibility rather than comparison, he helped sustain a legacy that might otherwise have ended, reminding audiences that continuity often depends on those willing to carry tradition forward with dedication and humility. Kenny Rogers. While the Commodores were known primarily as a funk and soul band, their history intersected with a very different musical world through Kenny Rogers. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Rogers had already become one of the most recognizable voices in country pop music, known for storytelling, ballads, and a warm conversational delivery. His connection to the Commodores came through songwriting collaborations, particularly with Lionel Richie, and it revealed how music could cross genre boundaries. At a time when radio formats were still strongly divided, Richie wrote and produced the song Lady for Rogers in 1980. The track reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and also topped the country chart, an unusual achievement that demonstrated broad appeal. For Rogers, the song reinforced his reputation as a crossover artist capable of reaching listeners far beyond traditional country audiences. For the Commodores' circle, it showed that their melodic writing could function outside a funk band setting and reach entirely new demographics. Rogers' career extended for decades, including hits like The Gambler and numerous chart successes. He sold millions of records worldwide and became known not only as a singer, but as a storyteller whose lyrics often centered on life decisions, resilience, and reflection. His collaboration with Richie also influenced the direction of popular music, helping bridge rhythm and blues and country pop listeners during an era when such connections were rare. Although Rogers was not a member of the Commodores, his association with their songwriter changed public perception of what their music could achieve. The success of Lady contributed indirectly to Richie's solo path, showing record executives that his compositions could stand independently in the broader market. His life offers a human message. Art can unite audiences who might never meet otherwise. By embracing collaboration instead of genre limitations, Rogers demonstrated openness to creativity wherever it appeared. His work reminds us that respect for different styles can produce something timeless, proving that music's true strength lies in its ability to connect people rather than separate them. Diana Ross. Few artists symbolize Motown's global influence more clearly than Diana Ross, and her connection to the Commodores' story reflects how interconnected the label's creative community became. Long before the band achieved international fame, Ross had already established herself as a leading performer, first as the frontwoman of a successful vocal group and later as a solo artist. Her elegant stage presence and emotional delivery helped it to shape expectations for performers within the Motown system. Ross later collaborated with Lionel Richie on the duet Endless Love, released in 1981. The song became one of the most successful ballads of its era, spending 9 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reaching audiences worldwide. For Richie, the recording dramatically expanded his recognition beyond the band setting. For Ross, it reinforced her versatility and ability to adapt to contemporary sounds while maintaining her signature style. The duet illustrated how artistic partnerships can transform careers. It connected two established performers from different stages of their journeys and created a shared success neither might have achieved alone. The song's popularity also influenced the Commodores' history because it demonstrated the scale of Richie's appeal as an individual artist, making his return to the group increasingly unlikely. Ross's broader career included chart-topping singles, film appearances, and international tours. She became known for emotional interpretation rather than technical complexity, allowing listeners to connect personally with her music. Over decades, she maintained cultural relevance and introduced new audiences to classic soul and pop traditions. Her story conveys a human value centered on collaboration. Music often grows when artists support each other's strengths rather than compete for attention. By recording with Richie, Ross helped create a moment that changed musical history while also highlighting the power of cooperation. Her career reminds listeners that enduring artistry is built not only on talent, but also on generosity, the willingness to share a stage and allow creativity to flourish together. Marvin Gaye. Few voices in soul music carried emotional weight like Marvin Gaye. Emerging from the Motown era, he began as a session drummer and background singer before developing into a defining vocalist of his generation. Early successes such as romantic duets introduced him to radio audiences, but his artistic identity deepened in the early 1970s when he recorded What's Going On. Rather than simple love songs, the album addressed social struggle, war, and human compassion, showing that popular music could speak to conscience as well as entertainment. Gaye possessed a rare vocal style, gentle yet intense, capable of conveying vulnerability without losing strength. His recordings blended smooth melodies with layered arrangements, and his influence extended far beyond chart positions. Musicians across genres studied his phrasing and emotional delivery, recognizing that sincerity can be more powerful than volume. Over time, he released numerous hit singles and became one of Motown's most respected performers, shaping the sound of modern rhythm and blues. His life, however, was complicated. Personal conflicts and internal pressures affected his later years, and tragedy struck when he died in 1984 at the age of 44. The loss deeply affected fellow artists and fans, leaving a lasting sense that a unique creative voice had been silenced too early. His passing also inspired tribute works from other musicians, including songs honoring his contribution to music history. Gaye's legacy rests not only on success, but on meaning. He demonstrated that music can reflect empathy, urging listeners to consider others' experiences. His recordings continue to resonate decades later because they address universal emotions, hope, doubt, and the search for understanding. The lesson in his story is simple yet profound. Artistic expression can encourage compassion. Through melody and honesty, Marvin Gaye showed that entertainment can also be a form of reflection, reminding audiences that humanity is strengthened when people truly listen to one another. Jackie Wilson. Before many soul singers reached international audiences, Jackie Wilson had already transformed stage performance into an electrifying experience. Rising to prominence in the late 1950s, he combined powerful vocals with the athletic movement, turning concerts into dynamic events rather than stationary recitals. His energy earned him the nickname Mr. Excitement, and his approach influenced later generations of performers who blended choreography with singing. Wilson's voice possessed remarkable range and clarity. Songs like Lonely Teardrops showcased both technical skill and emotional warmth, making him a frequent presence on radio and television. He proved that rhythm and blues performers could captivate mainstream audiences without sacrificing style. Many later entertainers adopted aspects of his stage presence, expressive gestures, audience engagement, and dramatic delivery, recognizing that performance involves visual communication as much as sound. Despite his success, his career faced hardships. The music industry during his era offered limited financial protection for performers, and health struggles eventually affected his ability to appear on stage. He spent his later years away from public performance, and he passed away in 1984 at the age of 49. Even so, his earlier recordings continued to circulate widely, ensuring that his influence persisted long after his active career ended. Wilson's impact lies in the standard he set for live entertainment. He demonstrated that dedication to craft requires both discipline and passion. By giving full effort during each appearance, he elevated expectations for stage artists across genres. Many later singers acknowledged learning performance technique by studying his concerts. His story offers a human message about commitment. True excellence often requires relentless effort behind the scenes. Jackie Wilson showed that enthusiasm, preparation, and heart can inspire audiences and fellow performers alike. His legacy reminds us that creativity flourishes when artists invest genuine energy into their work, leaving memories that endure even after the spotlight fades. Michael Jackson. Few entertainers reshaped global popular culture as profoundly as Michael Jackson. Beginning as a child performer in a family group, he displayed extraordinary timing, pitch control, and stage confidence before reaching adulthood. By the late 1970s, he transitioned into a solo career that combined rhythm and blues, pop, and dance performance into a unified spectacle. His 1982 album Thriller became the best-selling record in history, moving tens of millions of copies worldwide and expanding the international reach of modern music television. Jackson's influence extended beyond recordings. His music videos were cinematic productions rather than simple promotional clips, using choreography and storytelling to create a new visual language. Performances such as the Moonwalk demonstrated how dance could become a defining signature of an artist. Through tours, television appearances, and humanitarian projects, he reached audiences across continents and generations. His songs addressed joy, loneliness, and empathy, making them accessible to listeners regardless of culture. In 2009, his sudden passing at age 50 shocked the world and prompted tributes from musicians of every genre. Many performers honored him in concerts and recordings, reflecting the scale of his cultural impact. The loss reminded audiences how deeply music can become part of daily life and memory. Jackson's legacy rests on innovation and connection. He showed that creativity thrives when artists combine discipline with imagination. Beyond commercial success, his career encouraged performers to aim for artistic excellence and emotional sincerity. His story offers a human lesson: talent can inspire millions, but compassion and dedication determine how long that inspiration lasts. Even years later, his work continues to unite people who share no common language except melody. Santana. The name Santana, associated with guitarist Carlos Santana, represents a fusion of cultures within popular music. Emerging in the late 1960s, he introduced a distinctive sound, blending Latin rhythms with rock and blues elements. His performances emphasized expressive guitar phrasing rather than speed, allowing each note to carry emotion. This style separated him from many contemporaries and established a recognizable musical identity. Santana's early success came from live appearances that highlighted improvisation and percussion-driven arrangements. His band's recordings combined electric guitar with congas and layered rhythm patterns, creating music that appealed to diverse audiences. Over decades, he released numerous albums and singles, maintaining relevance by collaborating with artists from different genres. One notable late-career resurgence occurred in 1999, when a collaborative album reached global charts and earned multiple Grammy Awards, demonstrating the durability of his artistic approach. Beyond commercial achievements, Santana often spoke about music as a spiritual expression. He viewed performance not merely as entertainment, but as communication that could uplift listeners. Concerts frequently emphasize unity and emotional connection, reflecting his belief that art can bring people together regardless of background. His enduring career highlights adaptability. While musical trends changed, he retained his core style and allowed it to evolve gradually rather than chasing popularity. This consistency helped him remain respected among both critics and fans. The human message in his journey centers on authenticity. By staying faithful to his artistic voice while welcoming collaboration, Santana showed that individuality and openness can coexist. His music demonstrates that cultural exchange enriches creativity, reminding audiences that harmony and sound can reflect harmony among people. Jimi Hendrix. Few guitarists altered the direction of modern music as dramatically as Jimi Hendrix. Rising to prominence in the late 1960s, he transformed the electric guitar from a background instrument into the centerpiece of performance. Rather than treating it as a simple accompaniment, he explored tone feedback and amplification in ways audiences had never experienced. His playing combined blues roots with experimental rock textures, creating a sound that felt both emotional and unpredictable. Hendrix gained international attention after relocating to London, where his live shows quickly built a reputation for intensity. Performances featured extended improvisations, unusual chord voicings, and expressive bending of notes that resembled a human voice. Songs like Purple Haze and Voodoo Child, Slight Return, demonstrated how technical skill and imagination could coexist. He approached music almost like painting, using sound colors rather than just melody. Despite a brief career, his influence spread rapidly among musicians. Guitarists began experimenting with effects, pedals, distortion, and stage presentation, adopting techniques that are now common. His recordings encouraged performers to view instruments as tools for creativity rather than limitations. Audiences also recognized that live concerts could become immersive experiences rather than simple recitals. Tragically, Hendrix died in 1970 at age 27, leaving behind only a few studio albums. Yet the small catalog proved powerful enough to inspire generations of artists across rock, blues, and soul. Decades later, his recordings remain studied by musicians learning phrasing and expression. His life offers a human reflection on creativity. Innovation often comes from courage, the willingness to try unfamiliar ideas even when others doubt them. Hendrix showed that originality requires risk, and although his time was short, his influence endured. He reminds listeners that artistic expression can expand boundaries, encouraging people to explore their own abilities without fear of difference. Albert King. Within the history of blues guitar, Albert King stands as one of the foundational figures whose style shaped countless later musicians. Born in Mississippi and raised in a musical environment influenced by gospel and rural blues traditions, he developed a distinctive approach to playing. Unlike many guitarists, he favored strong, sustained bends and deep vibrato, producing notes that sounded almost like vocal cries. This expressive technique gave his music emotional depth rather than mere technical display. King's recordings combined simple structures with powerful feeling. Songs such as Born Under a Bad Sign became widely recognized not only among blues listeners, but also among rock performers who studied his phrasing. His guitar tone emphasized clarity and resonance, allowing each note to carry weight. Instead of rapid passages, he focused on timing and space, demonstrating that silence between notes can be as meaningful as sound. His influence reached far beyond his own performances. Younger musicians carefully observed his playing style and adopted elements of his phrasing. Through tours and recordings, he helped bridge traditional blues with emerging electric styles, ensuring that earlier musical traditions remained relevant to newer audiences. Even artists outside blues acknowledged his impact, recognizing that emotional authenticity mattered more than complexity. King continued performing for many years before passing away in 1992 at age 69. By then, his reputation had grown from regional recognition to international respect. Listeners valued his music because it conveyed genuine feeling rather than manufactured effect. The lesson in his career centers on sincerity. Technical skill can impress, but emotional truth resonates longer. Albert King showed that a musician does not need elaborate arrangements to move an audience. Honest expression is enough. His work reminds us that art rooted in experience can travel across generations, connecting listeners through shared human emotion. James Taylor. Among singer-songwriters who shaped modern acoustic pop, James Taylor stands as a figure defined by honesty and emotional clarity. Emerging in the late 1960s and early 1970s, he helped introduce a softer style of popular music built around reflective lyrics and gentle melodies. Instead of dramatic arrangements, his songs relied on acoustic guitar, understated orchestration, and a conversational vocal tone that felt personal rather than theatrical. Taylor's breakthrough arrived with the recordings that blended folk influences with accessible pop structure. His interpretations often focused on everyday feelings, loneliness, healing, and hope, making listeners feel as if he were speaking directly to them. Over the decades, he released numerous successful albums and singles, selling millions of records worldwide. His longevity proved especially notable in an industry where trends shift rapidly. He maintained a consistent audience across generations without abandoning his original style. Beyond commercial success, Taylor's career also represented resilience. He openly discussed personal struggles earlier in life and gradually rebuilt stability through music and discipline. Rather than hiding difficulties, he allowed them to inform his songwriting, which strengthened the authenticity audiences valued. Live performances emphasize connection rather than spectacle, reinforcing the idea that music can comfort as well as entertain. His influence extended to many later artists who adopted the singer-songwriter approach, simple instrumentation paired with thoughtful storytelling. He showed that a quiet performance could carry as much power as a loud one. Listeners often found reassurance in his songs because they acknowledged vulnerability while offering calm reassurance. The human lesson in Taylor's journey is perseverance. Creative work does not always require grand gestures. Sometimes sincerity carries the greatest impact. By staying true to his musical voice and embracing growth, he demonstrated that art can accompany personal healing. His legacy reminds audiences that gentle expression can endure, and that honesty, when shared, becomes a bridge connecting strangers through shared experience. Stills. As a member of the influential folk rock movement, Stephen Stills helped shape the sound of late 1960s popular music through songwriting, musicianship, and collaboration. Known for his work in the group Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, he combined rock energy with acoustic harmony, creating music that reflected both social awareness and personal reflection. His guitar playing, equally comfortable in acoustic and electric styles, added depth to the group's layered vocal arrangements. Stills' compositions often blended poetic imagery with contemporary themes. Rather than simple love songs, his writing explored relationships, uncertainty, and the atmosphere of a changing cultural era. His multi-instrumental abilities allowed him to contribute not only guitar, but also keyboard and arrangement ideas, shaping recordings beyond a single role. The group's harmonies became widely admired because each member contributed a distinct vocal character, with Stills providing both strength and musical direction. Throughout his career, he continued performing and recording, adapting to evolving musical landscapes while maintaining his core style. His approach emphasized collaboration, the belief that combining different perspectives can create richer results than individual effort alone. Concerts frequently highlighted instrumental skill alongside vocal harmony, reinforcing the importance of musicianship in live performance. Stills' impact lies partly in influence. Many later performers adopted the folk rock blend of acoustic storytelling and electric instrumentation that he helped popularize. His songs demonstrated that thoughtful lyrics could coexist with accessible melodies, broadening what mainstream audiences accepted as popular music. The broader message of his career concerns cooperation. Creative partnerships require listening as much as performing. By working closely with other musicians and respecting differing ideas, he showed that art often grows stronger through shared effort. His story reminds listeners that harmony in music mirrors harmony in relationships. Progress becomes possible when individuals contribute their strengths while supporting each other's voice. After hearing their full story, the real question isn't just about fame, it's about loyalty. Is success measured by individual achievement or by the people who helped you reach it? Some will say pursuing your own dream is courage. Others will say leaving the team behind changes everything. Life often forces choices where both sides feel right and wrong at the same time. Here at Black Excellence Legends, we honor every journey, but we also believe legacy lives in respect and gratitude. Now we want your opinion. Did personal ambition strengthen the story or fracture it? Share your thoughts in the comments and let the conversation begin.